What's up, guys? This is Butch. In this episode, I'm going to talk about three things that should help you improve your Pudge gameplay. And I mean, it's going to be kind of a rant, but three things that lately have been sticking out to me, and I don't think I've covered them before. So, alright, here we go. The first one is so lately I've been posting a lot of videos on how I win my lane, and I don't. Uh, So I just show the entire laning phase. I mean, most of the stuff is accelerated. The non-important stuff like lane control and creep kills, and I slow it down for the kills and the actual plays and the aggressiveness of the gameplay. Now, I've done this so many times already, like laning against heroes like Queen of Pain and SF and Tinker, that it just becomes natural to me and I already know what to do. So I have a thing in my head and I'm like, okay, I need to do this and this and this. If you play passive against this SF or Queen of Pain or Tinker mid early game, like level 1, 2, 3, and you haven't gotten the kill and you're just trading last hits, most of the time it's not good, especially against a Queen of Pain or a Shadow Fiend, because a Queen of Pain gets a bunch of levels, even level 2. If Queen of Pain gets level 2, it's so much harder to lane against because she already has Blink and a dagger. So she's going to harass you out of the lane with the dagger, and you can't really go on her, or it's harder to kill her because she has a Blink. So you need to make as much plays as possible as you can at level 1. Same thing with Shadow Fiend. If you get Shadow Fiend to level 2, level 3, he's got level 2 raise, so he actually does a lot of damage, he can harass you down. So when you're not full HP, you can't really run at him, you can't be aggressive, and if you're not aggressive, he's just going to outlast hit you. And by level 4, the SF does more damage than you do. He's got more attack speed, more damage, and he's ranged, so there's pretty much no chance that you're gonna win the lane. And when it comes to level 5, SF is actually stronger than Pudge. Even if Pudge hooks him, SF could just kill the Pudge because he does so much more damage. Um, and then SF has much better lane control. And that's another thing with all these heroes, Queen of Pain and SF, they have so much more lane control than Pudge. I mean, Pudge can rot, but rotting creep kills for flash farming is not the best scenario because you take so much damage yourself. But SF can raise down the creeps, and by the time it's level 3, level 4, level 5, it's already too late. You lost your lane. Maybe at level 6 and level 7 you have a chance to kill these heroes, but why wait until you're level 6 or 7 just to get a kill, you know? So just try to be as aggressive as possible, but if you are aggressive, this is the thing. You need a salve, not tangos. You need a salve because you're going to trade a bunch of hits, then you're going to salve up, and then you're going to go back in and you're going to try to get a kill at preferably level 1. Another thing that you need for it, you need a good block. You need a block that is closer to your side of the map, like closer to your tower, like a lot closer to your tower than it is to their tower. If it creeps are by the opponent's tower or on the opponent's side of the cliff, you're never gonna kill him. Like, or pretty much never gonna kill him. Like, it's very hard. So you need to have the creeps closer to your tower so you can kind of chase him a little bit um, after you hook the opponent, you know? Same thing with Tinker. Like at level 1, he's not really that strong. Like you can just kind of run up to him, or if he wastes his laser, then when the laser's on cooldown, just run up to him and just start hitting him. At level 2, level 3, Pudge is pretty strong because he's got the hook and he's got the rot. And Pudge is very, very, very tanky at level 1. So you need a stout shield, and I prefer the build with the salve, stout shield, gauntlets, and 3 iron branches, or 2 iron branches, whichever you prefer. And just try to be as aggressive as possible. And if it does work, if it does pay off, you're gonna dominate your lane so fucking hard. Like it's gonna be the easiest game of your life. And I've had actually a bunch of these games lately. Like even in ranked, I played a couple of ranked games. First picking Pudge, and I laned against Queen of Pain and Storm, and I just ran at them at level 1, and I just killed them or outplayed them. You know. So just try that. Okay, second tip. Whenever you're hooking uphill, and I'm going to show clips right now of me hooking Queen of Pain, 2 different examples. What you need to do, so if the entire time the person that you're hooking is in vision and you're not hooking uphill, like you're not hooking through a terrain, you can just click hook and then click dismember before the hook even lands, and that way you'll have an instant dismember because the Pudge will start moving forward after. Okay, so the hook hits and then the opponent is dragged halfway. When the opponent is dragged halfway of their hook's range, the Pudge starts moving forward, and then the opponent is dragged a little bit to the back of Pudge, and that gives Pudge enough time to for his animation of his ultimate to settle in and basically dismember the opponent before he can do anything. So this works on heroes like Queen of Pain, Blink, because the Blink is not instant. This works on Storm Spirit's ultimate, which is not instant and has an animation. So if you're hooking people through like without a terrain and you see them throughout, the instant hook dismember should work on heroes like Queen of Pain and Storm. But it's not a guarantee to work on instant spells like Juggernaut Spin or Lifesteal Rage. That shit is instant, so you can actually activate it kinda after they've been moved 3/4 of the hook's length. So if their reflexes are fast enough, they might pull off the spin or the instant ability before you can even ultimate them. So that kind of sucks. But the thing that I'm trying to get at is when you're hooking people through a cliff. So like in these two clips that I'm showing right now, you can't do the same thing. You can't press hook and then before the hook lands you can't press ultimate on the opponent, because what the Pudge is gonna do, the Pudge is not gonna move towards, so the hero is gonna be dragged halfway with the hook, right? But the Pudge is gonna start moving around the terrain to dismember the opponent. So he's not going to move towards the opponent, he's going to move around the terrain, which is going to be 90 degree whatever perpendicular to the hook. I hope you see what I'm saying. So you can't really do that. So you can't instantly dismember people like as fast if you're hooking through a terrain or through trees as you can if you're not hooking through terrain or through trees. You know what I mean? So what you need to do when you are hooking through terrain, you need to press the ultimate. Okay, you need to press hook. Don't press the ultimate on him yet. After the Pudge throws the hook and the enemy has been dragged halfway, you need to press stop or hold so the Pudge sits in place. And then you need to, after the enemy has been dragged about 3/4 of the way, you need to press dismember. It's not going to be as instant, but it usually will be pretty fast. And both of these examples, the first example, actually both of these examples, the Queen of Pain was kind of waiting for it, but just because I used this technique, I was kind of fast enough to dismember her. And as you can see, it was super close, like I don't know, a tenth of a second, and the Queen of Pain would have blinked away both times. So it was very close, and it's cutting it. If the Queen of Pain was a little bit faster, like I think the dismembers that I did in these two clips are the fastest that you can do the dismembers on a target like that. So I played my best. If the Queen of Pain would have blinked a little bit sooner, which she could have had a little faster reflexes, but she was preoccupied with hitting creeps and stuff. So I mean that kind of takes away like a couple quarters of a second, I guess. But yeah, if the Queen of Pain clicked it faster, then there was no way I could have dismembered her after the hook. But yeah. Okay, and the third and final tip is when you play Dota, you need to be very patient, especially when you play Pudge, and you need to think everything through. Like, the only time, okay, I'm going to just use Pudge as an example. The only time you should just hook without thinking is if you're going through their woods and you just see somebody and you need to hook them as fast as possible because they might not notice you, or like if they have a stun, they need to hook them before the stun. So for example, if you see a lion, I mean, you're going through the woods and it's evening, I mean it's night, and you see a lion, you need to press the hook without hesitating much, and you can't animation cancel. I mean, you can, but it's not going to do much because he's going to... So you need to hook him as fast as possible. That's the only time you should really hook without thinking it through, you know, just kind of instinctively. You just need to hook as fast as you can. Hopefully that your reflexes are better than his, right? So that's the only time you need to do that, really. the other times you need to kind of think it through and don't really waste your hook on every little thing. Like you need to try to throw the hooks out at the most probable at the times when it's going to be most probable, right? That it's going to hit. So just pay attention to the situation, and this is very hard to explain. I can't really say when to hook and when not to hook. I can go example by example, but it's just too many different little things that I take into account. And like every split second, I'm just making these small decisions, and I'm thinking, okay, should I hook now? Should I hook now? Should I move backwards? Should I move forwards? But you need to do this very calmly. You can't panic. You need to, and it's always like you don't need to be like super, 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 super fast. Like you don't need to have the reflexes of Dendi to be good at Pudge, but you do need to make smart decisions and always think of things behind your head. For example, like this example, when you're driving, you always need to keep in mind that you need to look at your mirrors every couple of seconds or whatever. Like you need to look at your back mirror, you need to look at the speed, you need to look at the road, all these things that you need to pay attention to. And at the beginning, it's very hard. People start driving, they're like they have to remind themselves to keep doing that shit. But then you do it over and over and over and over again, and it becomes super easy and it becomes super automatic, and you don't even need to think about it. Like it's like when you drive a car, you look at the mirrors, you're not even thinking that you're looking in the mirrors. You just it's kind of like breathing. It comes very natural after you've done it for so long, right? Same thing with Dota. You need to always look at the map, like in your mirrors. You need to always pay attention to like what the opponents are doing, what they're like, and where you need to go, and what you need to do. And you need to be super calm about it. Like you just have to evaluate the situation and you have to make goals in mind. So for example, you're playing a game, you're like, okay, so that's the only like for example, they have like a centaur and everybody else is just kind of whatever. You need to be like that centaur is gonna get his blink or whatever. That bat rider is gonna get his blink soon, or um, especially when they have a Bloodseeker on their team. This is why Bloodseeker is so OP. Bloodseeker is the strongest when he enters the fight late. So the fight starts, everybody hits each other, everybody uses their spells, everybody's kind of low, half HP, some people are dying, and then the Bloodseeker shows up after all the spells have been used and he just kills everybody because he has like 600, 700 move speed and he just auto attacks everybody to death, right? And that's what you want to do. Um, you want to always keep in mind that there's a Bloodseeker on the opponent team, and you need to kind of maybe save your spells for the right healers. Like sometimes it's not like when you have a blink, you need to know when to blink in and dismember somebody, rather than waiting and or cooking somebody or saving an ally. You know, and that's another thing. When you're trying to hook somebody, try to take advantage of the long range of the hook. Like if you're gonna blink towards somebody and then hook them, like the hook. Okay, so for example, it's super late in the game. It's better to hook somebody and drag them 1,300 units than it is to hook them and drag them 600 units, because the difference in the distance that you drag them, the further away you drag them from his team and towards your team, the easier it is to kill that hero and then proceed with a team fight 4v5. And also, it is very, very, very good to hook people across cliffs because then the opponents can't help that ally. So just think about it, and when you hook people, if they don't see you, try to increase the range. So I would suggest be about 1,200 units away from the opponent. That way, you're not gonna miss it because it's too short. So like for example, you don't want to always hook 1,400 units away because it's gonna be barely gonna hit that person. So if he steps back like 100 units, you're gonna miss that hook because of the range of the hook. And also, the further away the target is, the more chances you're gonna miss, I guess, because there's more chances that the opponent's gonna move away from the hook. Because I mean, if a hook needs to travel 1,400 units at a certain speed, it's gonna take longer for it to travel that than half of that distance, you know. So just think about that. Thanks for watching, guys.